Board of Appeals to order. The AED machine is right across the hall. Fire exits are at each end of the building. Please turn off all cell phones and pagers. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Carol Lott.
Here.
Rocky Ellsworth.
Here.
Ed Hay.
Here.
Jonathan Goldberg. Here. Norman Vaz.
Yes. Okay. Any additions or corrections to the minutes from August 19th, 2024?
Move the minutes of August 19th be approved as submitted.
A motion by Ed Haight, seconded by Carol Rock, to approve the minutes of August 19th. Would the clerk please poll the vote?
Carol Lott.
Aye.
Rocky Ellsworth.
Aye.
Ed Hay.
Aye.
Jonathan Goldberg.
Aye. Motion carried. Okay, for the public hearings, would the clerk please show the proof of publication?
No, you're not looking at, we're gonna drive over.
He's in West Side.
Yes, please close the door, thank you. Okay, if I mispronounce name, just correct me, and I'm sorry. Greg Denny, 1634 Lake Road.
Yeah.
Would you like to present to the board what you'd like to do, please?
Well, I'd like to put privacy fence up for approximately, I think it was 24 feet on the Apple Hollow side facing Town Hall at the far end of my property line, right up until just before the pine tree, which is behind the house. I'm bad with directions still here, but like west of the house.
The road is west of your house.
Yeah. So,
East.
east, yeah, I mean, same thing, right?
Lake Road is west.
Yeah.
All right, sorry.
Yeah, no, it's east, south of that.
You're right, yeah, east, no, south is.
Yeah, it's south.
Does the board have any questions?
Oh, I'm sorry, also if, the 4-foot fence to the, on the rest of the yard up to the driveway, but I don't know if that needs, to be passed here or not.
Did it?
So the 4 foot is, will be within the, 4 foot is okay.
Remember, we also had a military, you guys go last time on this property, what was it called?
It was like a practical difficulty,
Right.
that's what's from last month.
Because you brought it up more.
As a result of
Remember
his
that?
service to our country and the
Remember that?
results of
That's
that,
what I-
therefore.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that we didn't say anything in there. So, good.
Any other questions from the board? I'll open the public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak, please state your name and address.
I'm not here specifically for this, I found out, but they're neighbors, I live 2 doors down, right here, and my yard overlooks 2 acres to Forest Town Hall, and I would welcome any fencing that would help block the lights from my yard as well. So I approve of what he's discussing and welcome it.
Okay, could you give your name and address for
Yes,
the?
sorry, Sean Walsh, 1612 Lake Road.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak for or against this request? Okay, I close the public hearing. We have 5 criteria we have to look at. Number 1, whether an undesirable change will be produced in the character of the neighborhood or detriment to nearby properties will be created by the granting of this area variance. Number 2, whether the benefit sought by the applicant can be achieved by some feasible method other than the area variance. Number 3, whether the requested area variance is substantial.
I would say,
Number 4, whether the proposed area variance will have an adverse effect or impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood district. And number 5, whether the alleged difficulty was self-created, which consideration shall be relevant to the decision of the zoning board of appeals, but shall not necessarily preclude the granting of the area variance. Basically, self-created, he wants it, so. Okay, board, I'm looking for a motion.
I'll make a motion for Greg Denny, 1634 Lake Road, seeking relief from Town Code Title 20-29E, F, and G. They had different fencing options to his existing yard, and they had a wire structure in the rear yard for a child and camp. There was no comment at the public hearing. The 5 criteria were met. Type 2 secret.
second.
A motion was made by Carl Roth, seconded by Jonathan Vogler, for multiple variances to grant Greg Denny, 1634 Lake Road, fencing. Would the clerk please poll the vote?
Carl Ross, Blackie Ellsworth,
Aye.
Ed Hay,
Motion carried. I think though he's gotta see you, right, before,
just have to see him, if we get a building permit for portion of the fencing screen.
okay. So, you're clear with us, just make sure you work with Cheryl.
Thank you. Thanks for taking this time.
Thank you, have a good night.
Okay, Sean Walsh, 2288 Redmond Road. And it's for property located on Redmond Road?
Yes,
Liquor
correct.
and Lake Road.
Yes, I live on Lake Road, 3 houses down here. Recently bought this property on Redmond Road and like started doing some stuff with it. First being a shed that I put on immediately with some storage there, and then work on doing the pole barn this spring, and after the pole barn in the house in the future. And so variance is needed for accessory structures anytime I'm asking for it.
We walked the property Saturday. And your explanation was you wanted the shed for something quick.
Yes.
While you were building the bigger pole
And
barn.
I have another property I'm trying to sell and would like to, move up there to.
Questions from the board?
I think that was the question, is, right now, the shed will be there until the barn is built.
And
And then you're gonna remove the shed after the barn
I
is built?
won't have a lease where I sell it or, I suppose it required.
Any further questions from the board? Okay, I'll open the public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak for or against this application, please state your name and address. Okay, seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. We'll go over the 5 criteria. Number 1, whether an undesirable change will be produced in the character of the neighborhood or a detriment to nearby properties will be created by the granting of this area variance.
No.
How many acres is each
That's
unit?
5 acres.
Okay, it looked bigger than that, but okay.
Yeah.
Number 2, whether the benefit sought by the applicant can be achieved by some feasible method other than the area variance.
If he wants to put the barn on before the house, he's gonna have it.
Right. And protect his equipment.
Correct.
Number 3, whether the requested area variance is substantial. Not that location.
And ultimately, when he's done, the barn is gonna be similar in size to what was there originally
Right.
years ago. Similar to what it was.
Number 4, whether the proposed area variance will have an adverse effect or impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood district. You're surrounded on all sides by farmland. Number 5, whether the alleged difficulty was self-created, which consideration shall be relevant to the decision of the zoning board of appeals, but shall not necessarily preclude the granting of the area variance. Yes.
Sir, I have one question. Are we going to put a limit on how long he has before he has to build a house? Or bring the barn up for the house? Other places we've given him a year to build a house?
Okay, now from conversation, I think the applicant would need over 2 years.
I would, ideally, but in the meantime, I do live in Hamlin and one house, just on the street, pay taxes and all that stuff.
I take input from our council on that.
So, the reasoning is, law requires you to have a primary house without, to have an accessory structure. So they're allowing you to do this backwards so that you can build your house and still keep, so, they kinda have to put if you don't have an accessory structure on there, everybody's gonna come in and say, I got a piece of property, I'm gonna build a house, and a house is never gonna come. So it really needs to be a time frame. So you have to let the board know what a reasonable time frame is for you to get a house started.
To start, say, within 3 years, reasonable,
It's up to the board.
We could put, I think, it'd be a good idea to put that condition on.
3 would be reasonable. So he needs a couple of years to get some equity in the house before he tries to sell it. Consider taking
Okay, I'm gonna include that in the motion, and I believe if somehow that condition is met, he can come back to us.
You could, or Cheryl could ask you to take the barn down, okay?
Okay. But you understand our positioning there is,
I understand why, I love what out there, I think, and
okay, looking for,
I'd also like to see the motion that it's only, the shed's out until the full barn is completed and the CFC is granted, and then the shed needs to come down.
okay, whoever makes this motion has multiple require
Conditions.
few conditions, yes.
We've gone through the criteria, you've done that?
Yes.
Then I'm ready to make a motion, I got the notes right now.
Okay, I hope Cheryl's ready to write.
I make a motion, the application of Sean Walsh for property at 2288 Redmond Road, seeking relief from Town Code 520-31B to add an accessory structure to his property without a dwelling. His plan is to build a pole barn, but he wants to put a shed in place there until the pole barn is built. And I would say that one condition is that the shed will be removed once the pole barn is constructed, and he has a CFC for that. And I'd also like to put a condition on there that he would start construction of a new home on that property in 3 years. We've opened the public hearing we've heard nothing from the public hearing, no comments for the public hearing, gone through the 5 criteria. It's a type 2 seeker.
Okay, a motion's been made by Ed Haight, seconded by Jonathan Vogler for variance for accessory structure for Sean Walsh for property located at 2288 Redmond Road. Would the clerk please poll the vote?
Carol Ross.
Aye.
Rafi Ellsworth.
Aye.
Ed Hay.
Aye.
Jonathan Vogler.
Aye.
The motion's carried. Now, definitely be working with Cheryl.
Yes, we'll get to know each other very well. Thank you.
Okay.
You're very welcome to join your night.
Thank you.
We'll see you soon.
Okay, on the agenda, Valerie Burrows, 29 Close Hollow Drive.
I had a pool on the property for 33 years, and I wanted to replace it with the same exact size pool. Mine is a little bit taller, because it was 48 inches tall before. And I put it in the same spot, but then I looked at the property lines and noticed it wasn't in the code, so I wanted to get here for that.
I think what she
Was there a
has,
variance?
there was no
When the
variance
pool was built the first time?
earlier, no variance whatsoever, and they put 5.54, yeah, away from the lot line, and the code states 15 feet. So she didn't need a variance in order to put the pool for
Correct.
safety, health and safety reasons.
Was it pre-existing when you bought the property? Okay, so your lawyer didn't find that when they
No,
closed it?
no.
Okay.
I lived there for 33 years, so.
And then so 33 years
Yeah.
ago. Yeah.
And you're putting the same size pool, just,
Yes, right.
the
in
newer
same
ones
spot.
are 54 inch or 52
Yeah,
instead
it's
of
like,
48,
it's
so.
gonna be 24 by 52 instead of 20.
What we need then is a motion to schedule a public hearing.
Make a motion to schedule a public hearing for Valerie Burrows at 29 Close Hollow Drive, seeking a 9.5 foot variance. Code requires 15 feet, and she's seeking to put the pool in the existing spot, which is 5.5 feet from the side lot line. It's a variance from code 520-28A2. And it would, the public hearing would be on
Monday, October 21st.
Monday, October 21st, after 7 PM.
Second.
Motion's been made by Ed Hay, seconded by Carl Roth, to schedule a public hearing for Valerie Burrows, 29 Close Hollow Drive, for a variance needed for replacement of a pool. Would the clerk please poll the vote?
Carol Ross.
Aye.
Rafi Ellsworth.
Aye.
Ed Hay.
Aye.
Jonathan Vogler.
Aye.
Motion's carried. You have to have your $75 publication fee in before October 7th, the Cheryl, for printing in the paper. And then on the Saturday ahead, so that'd be Saturday, October 19th, sometime after 10:30, we'll come out and view the property.
Okay.
We always like to see what we're voting on, so.
I have a picture, I can show you.
Well, we'll still come out.
They love
So, 'cause
going out.
we do have your picture, but we like to see neighbors and all that.
Okay.
Yeah, don't worry.
Then if there's any questions, we have a good view in our end, so. So it'll be that Saturday, October 19th. Okay, well, you're all set, then just make sure you get your fee in to Cheryl. Okay, Alan Snyder, 701 Drake Road.
Do you have copies of the survey you want?
Did you have copies?
Yes, because we have the survey and the picture.
Your photos and
Okay. So live at 701 Drake Road, the garage was built in around 1930, it's an old cinder block garage. The back wall is buckled. When we bought the house 10 years ago, they put up a temporary wood frame to it, and hasn't aged well, and it's time to replace the barn. Barn is undersized. We have tractors and lawnmowers and four-wheelers and stuff. We're gonna build it, we wanna build it big enough, so we won't have to worry about adding to it in the future. We're well within the setbacks. Some of the neighbors have similar size, maybe not quite as big, but larger pole barns. And everybody has agreed with it. There's 3 carports right now. Those, along with the existing garage, are all going to be demolished, and get everything under one roof.
So on the picture, are these the carports?
The white things are carports. yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, they're just a canvas carport, they're not a permanent structure.
okay, and they'll be removed.
They will be removed. We are replacing, we're tearing down the existing garage, replace it with one new building, get everything under one roof.
Any other questions from the board?
Yeah, just the height, just wanna make sure you know what your height's gonna be. Is there a,
I checked it today, 18 and a half.
18 and a half, so that's just, so we need to know if we need to make a variance for the height, because sometimes there's a
I
maximum
believe
height.
it's 20,
I think it's 25.
25 feet.
Okay, as long as we're,
It should be,
just making sure that we don't make,
We wanted everything covered in one hearing for you.
thank you.
Okay, motion to schedule a public hearing?
I'll make a motion for Alan Schneider, 701 Drake Road, seeking relief from Town Code 520-12A, 4A, for a proposed 42 by 50 by 25 barn. Public hearing will be October 21st, sometime after 7 o'clock.
second,
Okay, a motion's been made by Carl Roth, seconded by Ed Haid, I believe, to schedule a public hearing for Alan Snyder, 701 Drake Road, for, oh gosh. Variance to construct a barn which will serve as a garage and equipment storage. Will the clerk please poll vote?
Carl Roth.
Aye.
Rocky Ellsworth.
Aye.
Ed Hay.
aye.
John Moldberg.
Motion's carried. Again, by October 7th, have the publication fee into Cheryl. And then on Saturday, October 19th, sometime after 10:30, we'll come out, maybe you could just have stakes or paint on the ground or something, so we can see what the proposed structure is gonna be. And that,
You're all set? Now, I'll bring in your $75 fee. Did you say
yes,
that?
by October 7th, the $75 fee. for
Check,
publication.
cash or card? Okay, okay, thank you.
Now, is this the one, this is the one we can do, right? Dorothy Butcher,
Yes?
you are seeking a coastal erosion hazard area permit?
Yes, yes. I've been to the conservation, I've been to the planning. I'm just replacing the pressure treated wood on my deck with tracks. And the rail.
Because that, now I'm trying to remember, because we were down there, it's the two-tier deck?
Yeah.
Yes, yes. We glanced at it Saturday when we were down
Oh, okay.
Did a drive-by.
there.
Did a drive-by.
Oh, you guys know.
So we had to go to the, we were down on Matoma for,
They were gonna put sonic tubes in, but they decided not to and just put 2 posts up to support that upper deck. It's probably, 40 years old.
They'll be attached to the existing concrete. pad.
Yeah, it's attached to the concrete pad.
Okay.
And she already went to, we went through how to sequence a little bit, usually you go to zoning first and then planning, but because of the practical difficulty, because fall's coming, she wants to get this done, that we decided it was in her best interest to just change the program a little bit.
okay, a motion for approval of a CHOP permit?
Make a motion to approve a CHOP permit for Dorothy Butcher for 5774 West Watoma Beach Road to repair, and fix up her, 2-tier deck for, trucks. Oh, yes, so it's, no, I read that somewhere too. It's, gone through, it's already had been granted, conservation corridor development permit from the planning board. I hope that the pre-inspection was consistent with no issues.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, a motion by Jonathan Vogler, seconded by Ed Haight for the granting of a coastal erosion hazard area permit for Dorothy Butcher, 5774 West Potomac Beach Road, for repair and replacement of 2 existing decks on the front water side of her property. With the clerk, please poll the vote.
Carl Lot.
Aye.
Rocky Ellsworth,
Aye.
Ed Hay.
Aye.
Jonathan Goldberg.
Aye.
Motion is carried. I don't know the rest of the procedure for you from here, but follow up with Cheryl.
I got
and-
it coming. I'm on to the grinder tomorrow.
Okay.
I'm trying to get my priorities here before winter comes.
Very wise decision.
Thank you, Dottie.
Thank you.
If I mispronounce this, please correct me. Teresa Randazzo, 984 Chase Road.
I'm the builder at, my mother, we're looking to put a pole barn up on a new build accessory. So I believe Cheryl has already received all the blueprints and paperwork. Basically, we're looking to add the structure technically in front of the rear corner of the house. It's set back off the road, it's within a 100-foot setback. the house was not at the basement, it was slab on grade, and it was on wetlands, so we were looking for an accessory structure.
Let's see.
So the building's gonna be in front of the front.
The accessory building has
Yeah.
a barn. It's well off the road, it won't be within sight, there's over 40 feet of shrub and bush and
Yeah.
tree from
Now, looking at the map, this is the farthest west lot on Chase.
Yes.
Before
There's the
Walker Lake
corner
area.
of Chase and Walker, yeah,
Yep, they're on the north side of the road,
yes.
okay?
What's your time frame on the house?
We just
I mean,
started,
kinda like what we were talking about with that earlier one is,
we're just getting ready to start.
okay.
I think we have 2 milers to be signed still,
Okay.
one for highway and one for water for the easement, and that's, and we're gonna get off and rolling.
So this motion will save the house within a year?
Is that,
The house will probably get started before the barn at this point, yeah.
Okay. Okay, well, then we'll still put it in the motion just to cover our bases then.
Yep.
A motion to, schedule a public hearing?
I'll make a motion for Teresa Randazzo, 984 Chase Road, seeking relief from Town Code 520-27C to build a non-ag storage barn on the property in front of the main foundation line before the dwelling is started. Public hearing will be October 21st after 7 o'clock.
yeah, you need the second piece here?
We do need the second
The
piece.
second piece, it says it's,
Oh, and also, seeking relief from Town Code 520-11A4, that states only carports and private garages.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, a motion's been made by Carl Roth, seconded by Ed Haight, to schedule a public hearing for Teresa
Randazzo.
Mendoza. Randazzo. I'm sorry, 984 Chase Road. For a public hearing for multiple variances to, build a pole barn in front of the front foundation of the proposed house. Would the clerk please poll the vote?
Carl Lot.
Aye.
Rafi Ellsworth.
Aye.
Ed Hay.
Aye.
Jonathan Vogler.
Aye.
The motion's carried. Could you just stake it out or something so that on Saturday the 19th, we can see where the proposed location is?
There's a pile of trees about 12 feet high, 30 foot wide right now where it goes.
I'm familiar with the property, so.
It's, I mean, we're gonna have some stakes in the ground. Land Tech is supposed to be out there either tomorrow or Thursday staking out the house and garage, so you might be able to kind of get a little gist, but I didn't plan on staking out the full barn. That's kind of where we stored all the material while we're clearing.
Could you spray paint?
It may be spray paint or something, so.
I can try, it's literally a pile of trees bigger than this room, stacked where it goes.
Okay, understand.
Right, I'm familiar with the property, so I understand what you're saying. We just kind of want to get an idea, you know what I'm saying?
You want to get stack of trees, right?
We do everything before we vote on it, so.
Yeah, I can try to do something off the driveway. I'll call him tomorrow and see if he can maybe stake the front corners, if it's not the way the tree.
Right, I mean, you know, nothing, it doesn't have to be fancy or exact, but give us a feel is all we're saying, you know?
Okay.
Okay, then, you just get your publication fee in to Cheryl by October 7th.
All right.
And that should take care of it.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Got the fee, you are all set. Yeah. She's already paid her, all her fees.
Okay,
So she's all set.
well, well prepared.
Take care.
Thank you. I don't know, is that your sweatshirt back there? Is it somebody's? No. You like it?
No, thank you.
Okay, Brendan and Denise Cullinan,
Cullinan, yes.
5756 West Tacoma Beach Road.
Yes. We're planning, actually, we purchased the house from Dot's sister-in-law and the late brother. We purchased the house in 2021, and with the plans of eventually making it our permanent home. So we live in Western New York and in Clarence area, and we sold our home, and then we're gonna plan to build something here to add on, just to make the house more up to date. And we're proposing a 300 square foot addition. But we're still gonna go from a 3-bedroom house to a 3-bedroom house. However, we're gonna put on more of a master bedroom, update things. There was an inner bedroom that that didn't have any windows, but we're planning on converting that to more of a functional space for as a pantry and storage, laundry room, those types of things. But our key goal here is to make this the permanent home, and that's that's our sole goal of this. So we're the one thing that we want to maintain though is the view of the lake, and it's really spectacular. And in that room though, the one small change we do want to make for safety reasons is to put a door on the side of the house, just so there's access out from the back of the house, because we'll be taking a door down from the side of the house, other side of the house. So that's our proposal. We're not building back any further toward the lake, but we're building more out to the side. And it's all an architect. We hired an architect to do this for us, and he had gone through quite a bit of going out of the house and doing all that. And we also wanted to wait until there was plumbing, because we were going to be putting a second bathroom on. We didn't know how that would affect the septic, all that. So we waited until the new sewers were put in. So. And that's right after the sewers, that was planned, we decided to
Made the call.
make the call to the architect. So it's a fabulous home, and it's just, we're just trying to really update it. And the original home was built in, I think, 1952, and you're around there. And then what's it? Yeah, and then her brother and his wife purchased home, I believe, about 1974-ish.
Probably.
Yeah. So, and there just need to be some updates. Across the street, we have there's a 4-car garage. There's a whole workshop, all that. So, the home's very functional, and we couldn't be happier where we are. But that's really our goal, is to make that so we've got adult kids. Once they'll get married, do that kind of thing. We'll obviously make the home for to entertain for the kids, grandkids, all that. So, but that's going to be our permanent home. That's really our sole goal of this whole thing.
These multiple variances are pretty standard down on the lake.
They are. And I tried to explain them all.
It's basically bringing a non-conforming lot, because in the 50s we didn't have the zoning code.
Right.
So now we have a zoning code says you have to have a 2-acre lot. Well, you don't have a 2-acre lot, so when we do this, we just bring this all into.
So it's contained to the quarter. We have 2 acres, but
Yeah, the
it's
quarter.
quarter acre and then 1.75
Right,
acres on the
right.
other side. And that's why I mentioned the garage.
Yep.
Because it's a substantial size garage. And
So- There's no, this is okay with the 7 foot 6 inches, is it good for the setback, Cheryl?
It is a minimum,
Minimum is
that
6?
property is 6.
Okay, so we don't need any setback variances, right? You just need all these variances to bring it into compliance,
Yes.
basically, right?
Yes. And the impervious surface is a pretty big one, but, I think it's still in compliance with the other properties in the area. They all have like, most of them have only 45 foot width.
Yep.
There's also a seawall that protects the
Yeah.
good stuff.
It would kind of, again, like we talk about, we drive around Saturday mornings and because there was the first yours
We
and then
just wave when you go by.
There's another, you know, we were down there Saturday, so we
Right.
just kind of said, okay, yeah, it's this one, but
Oh, I wasn't.
we gotta
Sure.
schedule a public hearing before it,
Sure,
and we
sure.
gotta grant the public hearing before we can give you
Right.
the CHOP permit.
But in the 3 years that we moved in, we love our neighbors, including Ty. I swear I didn't make her stick around. So. But it's really, it's been a very pleasant surprise for us.
Okay, a motion for a public hearing for multiple
Oh, yeah.
variances.
I would make a motion, we schedule a public hearing for Brendan and Denise Cullinan at 5756 West Watoma Beach Road, seeking several variances to bring the lot into compliance, to put an addition on the existing home. Variance from Town Code 520-21C1A states the minimum lot size is 2 acres, the property is 0.25, a variance of 1.75 acres is required. Town Code 520-21-1B, the minimum lot width is 150 feet. The width of this property is 75 feet, the 75-foot variance is required. Town Code 520-21C2A states the minimum rear roadside setback is 35 feet. The existing dwelling is 19.76 feet from the road. A 10.24-foot variance is required. Town Code 520-21-2B1 states the side setback is 15 feet for any lot greater, 150 feet or greater in width and 10% of the lot width, but not less than 6 feet. For a lot less than 150 feet, it appears that the setback of 7/6 would be acceptable. Town Code 520-21C5 states the maximum lot coverage with impervious surface in the shoreline residential is 15%. The proposed impervious surface with a new addition will be 24.9%. A 9.9% impervious surface variance will be required. This property is in the shoreline residential. These variants will bring the property into compliance with the current zoning code, and it will be for this October 21st after 7 p.m.
Hey, I'm not gonna be in town with my wife on the 21st. Do we have to be there, or?
Yeah, someone has to
So you need a
represent.
representative.
We have to have a representative.
Okay, and who could that?
Could be anyone
Anybody,
who's with the property.
a son, an attorney.
Okay, that's fine.
Just someone that has knowledge of.
An architect,
the-
Yeah, Tom is our architect, so, okay. So that's fine.
Right. Okay, a motion's been made by Ed Haight, seconded by Kyle Rott to, schedule a public hearing for Brendan and Denise Cullinan for property at 5756 West Potomac Beach Road for multiple variances after 7 p.m. on October 21st. Would the clerk please poll the vote?
Carol Lot.
Right.
Rocky Ellsworth.
Aye.
Ed Hayes.
Aye.
Jonathan Goldberg.
Aye.
The motion's carried. Please have your publication fee into Cheryl before October 7th. And then, on October 19th, sometime after 10:30, we're gonna come out and view the,
Okay.
maybe you could just put paint down or something so we can see. where
Sure,
the
sure,
addition
sure.
would be.
Sure. Now, what about calling like 811 and all that, is that?
That's-
That-
Built.
that's-
Okay, I'm
that's-
just
that's
curious,
all
I'm just
when you
asking.
start- When you start the building
Yeah,
process.
yeah, okay. Okay.
So like I say, just make sure you have your fee into Cheryl
I can pay right now.
and,
Right.
have somebody as a representative on October 21st.
Okay, okay, that's fine. Okay. Okay. Should I pay you now or
What, you wanna do a check
check? I can write a check.
or cash?
I didn't go to the bank yet, so.
Okay, check is fine.
Oh, you just send it?
Yeah, just come back.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, you've got a while yet.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
Yeah, yeah, let's do that. You gotta catch a plane.
Okay, now I believe,
We have an addition.
right, there's another name for me to butcher. Yes, I accept corrections, okay?
I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
Austin and Brittany
No, didn't mean to
Leapsaw.
get-
Close enough.
It's you, Rob.
All right.
Thank you.
So we're also on West Hotel Beach.
Yes,
We are looking to
we
do,
talked to,
yes, Austin on Saturday. I was
Yep.
wondering who the dogs were barking at, but, so we're proposing to do a 54 feet of 50% opaque, ornamental aluminum fencing on the east side of our, technically the front yard going lakeside, and then connecting to the house. And then on the west side of the house, connecting from our garage, it's an 8-foot, section that will connect to an existing chain link. And purpose is to keep neighbors' dogs out and keep our dogs in and just kind of be able to use our yard a little bit more.
that's what Austin was saying, and we could make out the chain link fence in the hedgerow there.
Yeah, yeah.
So all they need is a coastal erosion hazard permit, right? Okay. I guess we need a motion for that.
I'll make a motion for Austin and Brittany Leapsaw, 5864 West Watoma Beach Road, seeking the coastal erosion hazard area permit, to erect, fence on the east side of the property and from the garage to the west side of the property.
Okay, a motion's been made by Carl Roth, seconded by Jonathan Vogler to grant a coastal erosion hazard permit for Austin and Brittany Leapsaw, 5864 West Watoma Beach Road. Will the clerk please poll the vote?
Carl Roth.
Aye.
Kathy Ellsworth.
Aye.
Ed Hay.
Aye.
John Vogel.
The motion's carried. So
You're all set with this portion?
they just have to obtain that from you, right?
Yes. I'm,
Seven?
yes, for planning board. For their,
Conservation
conservation.
development.
Yes,
Yeah, she came up today.
yes. I'm glad you did.
Yeah, she was nice.
Okay, well then, I'll see you for the planning board, and then we'll do both these together. So you want to do two. Okay?
Oh, okay, yeah, and that's the seventh, is the planning board is?
We get this sometime in calendar?
Yes.
Okay, yes, the seventh, it's for 7 o'clock.
Okay, I'll call you.
Sounds good, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, thanks for coming.
Well, we'll be back, don't worry, we've got more to do.
We look forward to it.
It was nice seeing you.
You too.
Thank you.
Now we had, Cheryl Pazicki was here, I sent everyone an email last week, she wanted, years ago, there was a fence placed on the property, in the lake, up past, on Teal.
Well.
And she'd there wasn't an existing one.
I think if you're just replacing it in kind, you're taking this fence down, putting a new fence up.
So, in all transparency, the permit took the fence right across the road. So,
Well, you can't do that.
but that is the permit. And so, just hear me out. I did a lot of investigating to understand why that was permitted. And there's no true right-of-way on the road. There's no, as you guys have heard, there's no HOA, there's nothing supporting it. But the true right-of-way is actually 30 feet away at the garage door, which has been defunct. I have all the original surveys, I pulled them out of the county. Had I known this years ago, we probably would have not kept paving it. But to be fair, I believe that's why it was originally permitted, because there's no, I'm asking for some guidance here, because there is really nothing supporting what a few of us have put in there, and I'm more than willing, as well as the neighbors, to extend to put our driveways in, because the road isn't really being used except by a few people who, in delivery trucks. So I wanted to raise it because I know the history now of this. I have checked into the deed, the surveys, multiple surveys. There's actually several surveys that are written wrong, but I went all the way back to the county records from 1902, when the subdivision was developed. And the only access they show is well defunct, because everybody has bought both sides. Everybody has access to Newco. Nobody would be landlocked, nobody would be distressed. But it would cause some people to have to use their own property.
But are they, is the road there now that, how long is the road? I don't know what we're talking about.
Huntsville Beach is a road that was there, I'm assuming before Newco Drive.
Okay.
So it was closer to the lake, and multiple houses who, Antio is basically still there. Some people have paved driveways, some people have put grass on it, so no one can use Antio. So there's a lot of, there's some issues.
I've got to look at it better.
So,
And I'm more than happy to share all the surveys and everything I found.
Well, the problem is if someone's been using it as an access to their property for 20+ years, it's a prescribed easement.
So the problem is nobody supports it in the winter for sure, because it doesn't get plowed. That's the first problem. So it isn't accessible.
Is it a private drive, private road, Antio?
There was quoted HOA, but I've now found out that there wasn't an official HOA, so, you have to be official to have an HOA, and it was just a collection of people who said.
It was just the neighborhood.
Yeah. And it's not where any right of way was supposed to be, because initially it was supposed to be lots on both sides. The subdivision was proposed in 1902. It had a road that went all the way to Moscow Road, because Newco and the Parkway weren't there. So part of my reasoning is also, if you don't have the easement to Moscow anymore, then why would you even have this? Everybody has access to Newco. And I don't want to do this to stir any trouble. I think it's more of an awareness, like, I never realized this. And I think me personally should have taken the ownership to say, hey, I should know my own property and know that I should have my own driveway. I shouldn't be leaning to where something isn't even viable.
Yeah, well, the problem is I would need to do some research myself to find out if it would be a prescribed easement. And that's just because someone has been using it for so long. Doesn't mean it's written, that's how they access their property. You can't take it away after a certain amount of time.
Now, to be also distinct, right? That access has been terminated on other sides by permits to build garages and fences.
what's your street address?
Mine is 7890 Newco. And I can share with you some maps if you want, just to see really closer up.
Yeah, I'm just pulling up the county map right now.
Okay.
Are you more on the west end of that or the east end? Because there's When you're looking at
Yeah, I'm
a
on the
Google
west
Maps, there's
side.
2 spots that
Yeah,
goes.
so I'm on the west side, I'm 3 from Mike, who was here 2 weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago. When Mike moved into this, and so,
You're more on this end of it.
And I'm trying to think, when you come back in there, there's a couple,
It's like a 6-foot wide thing.
What's-
I actually think it's unsafe, because I'll walk out from on the side of the, like the house, and someone will come with them, I mean, you literally can get hit
there's
10 feet from your house.
There's a couple, properties in there that are owned by family trusts, aren't there? When we've been back in there.
No, I think I know everybody from,
Kevin
and
Newman was
actually,
at the other end, right?
actually, on Theo, here is what I finally discovered. This is what was proposed, this is the true Theo subdivision. This went to Moscow Road, there was no other one. But it stops there. So technically, the rest of this, people were able to merge the lots when we got to the sewer discussion because this wasn't part of the subdivision. So if you truly, to your point, had to negotiate with the neighbors, it should truly only be these. Because there's an outlet on the other side.
See, but I'm trying to remember, when we come back in there for other variances, aren't there some stretches where we can drive?
It doesn't even show, on the county map, it only shows Newco Drive, doesn't even show, what was your address again? Yeah, doesn't
Yeah,
even,
so all of our addresses are gonna be off of the phone, nobody's
Yeah.
got it on Theo.
onto you, yeah.
Yeah, and that was hard to find, that was the only threat of,
So see, Newco Drive is up here now,
and that
or
100
actually
feet,
going up here.
that 100 feet is the face of my garage door. There's a driveway in front of it, and then the 30.
100 feet.
This, I'm sorry, Steve, there's 100 foot,
Okay.
which is how they parsed it, I brought the deeds so you can read. It's 100 feet, 33 feet, and then the rest to the vehicle. That 33 is where people have put this road is, which isn't, and to be honest with you, so, I mean, I've been told this secondary road is used to go all the way over to the other side, of Santa Carver. It's slowly been parsed up because people wanted to expand their house. You know, I'm in a 60 by 100 barely in the house and garage, and you want to talk about setbacks.
What,
My neighbor's tree is literally in front of the house because I'm only half a foot off. So it's a very, I can show you, this is like the layout of the house. It's very contained in here. There you go.
how long have you owned the property?
It's 99.
So
Okay,
this
so a
is,
long time.
Yeah, and
this is your house, and this is your house, right?
so this was a proposed addition.
Yeah, and-
yeah.
So the
house
water's
is-
here.
Yep.
Where's this road?
Onto you.
This, so here's the garage and the driveway here.
Okay.
From this picture, it should be right at the face of the garage, the right way is. So it's not even anywhere. The reason I think they did is because they put the electrical poles here. When I've talked to the electric company, the only easement they have is to access their poles. So they don't need to get there. Which is true. There's plenty of places where.
So I'm just trying to figure out where this road is and what
Yeah.
people are using it. That's what, I don't understand it.
Some have, some, have driveways all the way to Newco. Other ones along Antio have grassed over Antio. So they grassed over, it was access road for utility easement.
See, I was thinking,
So there's 3 here that
Help me remember, Carol, but when we
So
come
they
back in
go
there,
down again.
aren't there some sections we've driven on that, and some that you can't? But
So I put a problem with her, just so she has
It's
access,
grass.
because there's no other way to get out.
right,
But what her and I said was.
when this came up, when we did the grinder
There
pumps,
used to be
and
a
I remember this
culvert,
property,
there's been a
there
resurface
was a lot of situations,
that's-
right,
And then if you think about the traffic, you're not sitting with this going past. And the security.
Still, I don't see it on this one either.
Yeah.
I don't understand where this other, I see Newco Drive. Newco Drive's right here. Where's this other road?
It's closer to the lake.
This here?
No, you can't, well, you gotta go further.
And they're just sections of it.
Which is this tiny little.
Function has a very
Oh,
bad.
I'm sorry, I'm going the wrong way. No, we gotta go this way.
Hey,
There,
Jonathan? Jonathan?
This, and we all
It's
own
very
both
good
sides of
color.
it. That's what's so strange.
Alright,
Google never used to have it
It
up
was good.
What was your address?
there. 7890.
so that's like 7, 8, I was doing 7, 9, okay, 7, 8. Okay, so, alright. But
And then does it go all the way through? Some maps show it going all the way
it
through.
stops here.
If somebody builds.
Yeah.
Somebody built a house right at
I wanna
that.
build I wanna put my fence right there.
So you wanna ultimately,
Just, the fence is really
Does
just.
everyone have a driveway out to this Winnebago Drive?
No, and I was one of the people who did, will, I'm going to put one in.
So, I'm gonna say that that's a prescribed easement.
But before you say that, if every one of those properties, if it was designed for 2 lots, but none of them were ever sold separate, so nobody's land. If everybody's lot has access to Newco, which wasn't there before, how can
Oh,
you
that's
say,
Newco Drive.
how can, who is? The town isn't, it's Google. It's not even, it's on Keo, if you really want to get technical.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is because it's on a map and delivery trucks are allowed to drive and zoom down it, that wasn't what was originally intended. And it's not a road, most people have just left grass. So they would like to traverse, but there's no right in here that says somebody.
So here's the thing, I represent the town of Hamlin, I'm saying that you're gonna have problems. Your neighbors are gonna go get attorneys, they're gonna say it's a prescribed easement, but that's up to you, I don't represent you.
There's only gonna be 2, and one of them's my own sister, so I know that, okay?
Until she sells the property.
And the second one, you know, have their 3rd generation there, and they use their neighbor's driveway. So most people have figured out how to couple up and get in and out. I don't wanna cause anybody distress, but I do wanna make awareness that I don't think this is the safest, wisest thing anymore.
I didn't put it in, I'm just telling you, people have been using it as access, so they're gonna, if they wanna create something, they can claim it's a prescribed easement and they don't have access to Newco Drive.
Can I put a fence up?
We don't
Fence
have
that was
to.
there?
She couldn't say no.
Because then they can come and sue me.
Yep,
I
you
get
wanna,
it.
you wanna put a fence up, that's up to you, I'm not giving you any advice on what to do.
I understand.
My whole concern was too, is that this fence is gonna block onto your road. If it is whatever, it's gonna block it.
Is this Antio Road a town road?
They don't even plow it.
No
People
signage,
have
there's no safety for stops, for goes,
Right.
for right of ways, walk.
It's really not, we haven't taken care of it.
I'm not giving you advice to do it, it's up to you,
You understand the dilemma.
Yeah, but the town, if the permit was issued for that,
Years ago, what was the year on it?
99.
so she has a permit for it, that was
It was
99.
not, she didn't put the original fence in, it was already when she purchased.
It was
the
the
property.
neighbor, so if it's still permissible,
That's their street.
No, that's yours.
Because then we'd have to start taking care of it, right?
No, we don't have to start taking care of it, no. It's not a dedicated road, we don't have to take care of it. I'm, if that was the original permit and she's just replacing a fence that was already there,
It was a neighbor's permit, you said it was your neighbor's fence?
yeah, it was, it's a shared fence, right? So, you know,
Yeah, but it's owned by someone, and goes through one property now, it's not a shared fence.
okay, so can I refill that section? There's nothing, is there anything in the town that says I can't?
there's nothing in town law that says you can't, but you can't block someone else's access. So, but
I can go get the history of how the building permit for the garage got built in the middle of the road. I mean, there's no road there. There's no road. There is no right of way. There's no easement. And I now know that. I was told there was, but there isn't.
But there's something called a prescribed easement. And that's not a written easement, and that is just that people have always used that easement and always have done that. And under the law, that's an easement. You can't deny somebody that.
But it's been denied other places in the same way.
I'm just telling you,
Okay.
I'm not your attorney.
It's right, you said it was a civil matter. and
That's
I'm
a
not.
civil matter, right? I'm not telling you what to do or what not to do.
Okay. So what would the town need from her, the building code zoning,
I would
to
make, I
get
would
the
have,
fence permit?
well, I would, we don't, you can put a fence where you want, but if it is prescribed easement, you can't block someone's access. They've been
And
doing
that,
it for years.
but again, someone's gotta claim that it's a prescribed easement.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's a prescribed
Yeah, we're
easement.
not, we're
I'm
just,
just telling you what one is.
what one is,
Yes.
right.
So,
Just a fine.
it's up to you what you wanna do. I would, if I were you, I'd talk to your attorney.
I've talked to my neighbors, and I would say just about everybody is okay with it, because we're all rethinking this whole thing.
Most
How-
people, these guys don't even remember how to get down there, so. it's-
I mean, if you think of it this
Oh,
way,
no, this way.
if this has always been in our mind that this is a must be, but now there's awareness that maybe our property could just be,
When we put up the sewers, they didn't even know this place existed. I remember this whole conversation. When they were looking at putting up the grinders, they didn't even know this was even there. It was very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, the town cannot approve or tell you what to do. It's your property. You have a fence permit, you can put a fence up on your property line. Go from there. The town can't tell you what to go ahead and do it.
Where to put your fence.
Right.
Can't tell you, we have nothing to do with that. It's up to you where you put your fence.
but, I mean, there are things of the fight that, there's
Right, those things we
yeah.
control.
Those
Yeah.
we
So I would like to get the permit then, just to have the option to put the,
I'd like to do some more investigation on it, if you don't mind.
Okay.
I'd like to talk to highway department and just to make sure.
I'm okay with that, that's why I just wanted to raise the awareness, talk it out,
Yeah.
and make sure, if there's anything else I need to provide for Jill, more than happy.
I mean, if it were me and everybody's happy with it and you're okay with it, I'd get all my neighbors to sign off saying that we
Well-
won't.
It's different for somebody to say, I'm gonna sign off,
Mhm.
versus, I think it's probably good that I have my own property and nobody's driving across it all the time, if you understand.
Well, I get it, but I'm
And
looking
it,
at it all sides here.
I mean, one of the things I was asked is, does it prevent somebody from getting in there? No, there are other access ways, no different than this one, as you see.
I apologize. I'll have to speak to the fire marshal.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, check with the fire
Because
marshal.
I know it has been used for emergency access in the past for ambulances.
I would be surprised if you could get a fire truck down this road. But I'd say because of, it's
all grown
grown
up
up.
and it's trucks. But that's what it has been in the past. So I'll try and get,
Yeah, do some checking.
checking.
I mean, I just, facts are facts, and it got me thinking,
Well,
and asking the neighbors.
See, I'm not remembering it well, but I was thinking, because we've had multiple variances down there, we went back in and went a little bit, short distance on it, but we've come in through, I'm trying to think, who had built the garage out front and stuff, remember? We've been down there for multiple variances.
You know whose house you knew it always known who had been Manos? Dick Manos is a driveway. That's where it started. And, he was the,
Dick Mantle was,
I mean,
many years ago, he was on Board of Assessor Review with me.
Yeah.
yeah.
He's Tom's dad.
So that's where it started, but then, again, on Teal itself was only that stretch of paved. What got built onto that, I know at the county offices isn't even part of the subdivision, because the lots could be merged, where ours could not. Some of them were done before the law, so it's half and half. But for all intents and purposes, the way the property is used, everybody has a stretch of land. It's just this now become an annoyance where the fact is, it prevents me from doing anything like that. So it starts becoming more and more important, safety and.
Yeah, but that's a
cost.
civil, that's not a town problem.
Understood, that's why I thought the wisest thing is just to secure my property. I have a dog, I have nieces and nephews that come to, and I would like them to be safe. So,
Again,
but you let me know if, I'll work with you on it, I'll work with you on it, you know that.
I'll do it if I find anything.
Okay.
But your whole yard is not fenced in, you're talking about your dogs and your nieces and nephews.
There's a fence on one side, this side that I would be
Are there
proposing
gates-
it.
Are there gates where the dogs and the children will be,
There's a driveway in the house, so that protects one side of it, and then, obviously to the water, there's no barrier, but to this road, literally, if I walk just outside the house, I go 10 feet with bushes and the fence there, there's nothing stopping an accident. It's a reality.
and you're mainly concerned about delivery trucks, you mentioned.
Well,
FedEx, UPS, that
you
type
don't
of
know
stuff.
who's coming down in and out. I know the neighbors have put signs like, no exit, and, only these houses, for a lot of those reasons, because you just don't know who's coming in and out, and it doesn't feel secure. So, just want to secure the
I think the not recommendation, but, I think if you wanted to do this and not be held liable down the road, I think all of your neighbors should have a document that they sign and have notarized.
But who are all of them? That would be the
The
question.
ones that
Just the ones
are
on that short piece of road, I would think.
on this long piece
the
of
ones
road.
that have access to that road now.
Yeah.
Okay,
Just
so
like
there would
properties.
only be one who doesn't have a driveway besides me. And I think if what you're saying is that one person in that small stretch, because everybody else can go do whatever they want their other way, or they have their own driveway, it's probably perfectly fine, it probably would be very easy. I will speak to all of them, because I don't have any issues with that.
Again, I'm not giving you any legal advice, I'm just telling the town what they can and can't do.
Okay. And why don't you find out what you can from the highway, and I'll do what I can from the neighbors, and if we have some agreements, then I'll build
You
that.
might even consider going to the town board also. I'm just,
We discussed this, we had a whole discussion about this property before. Mike knows about it, it doesn't exist, that's what they're gonna say. It's not,
yeah, it doesn't exist, but I just wanna make sure for everybody that no neighbors are gonna be blocked. Okay. I'll look at it this week.
All right, I appreciate you guys having this discussion. I'm gonna look up this implied easement, is that what you called it? Implied?
Prescribed.
Prescribed. One right there. Okay.
I come back to work in the morning at 8 AM.
I won't be there at 8 AM.
Okay, that's.
All right.
I know it's early, okay.
Okay, thank you,
All
Cheryl.
right, thank you guys.
Okay,
Take care.
bye-bye.
To continue our meeting, anything from our legal department? Town board,
the same amount on the budget. How we doing right now?
It's exciting and fun.
building department.
We're still busy, we're still building fences,
I,
sheds, barns.
I'm noticing that.
People are getting ready, they want to be ready before the winter. But that's about it,
Okay,
the budget.
okay,
I don't know further business and move to adjourn.
Second.
Yeah.
Aye.
Okay, everybody.
Yeah, remember that discussion we had about that whole property?
now, you know,
It doesn't even exist according to anybody else, Mike will tell you that.